In our previous video, in our previous exercises, we have created the building model of our residence. And also the pages and so forth. So, our next step that we're going to be doing is to create the site plan, which is the unit that we are on right now. So, we're just going to continue on uh, doing the same house as we did before. So, we're just going to kind of work on from here. All right, so I am going to put a floor to this before I continue on. It kind of bothers me that I don't have one there. If you don't have one, then that's not necessarily a mandatory thing. And I'm just going to go with a generic 8 or something else. I'm not going to do well, I do a generic 12. Because I don't want to do a wood floor for the bottom of the fireplace. So it sticks out a little bit, but that's something we can adjust later on. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and for our site plan, we're gonna go to the site, and the site gives you 4 markers around the building. A couple things you'll probably have to turn off is the design that we traced or the drawing that we traced. So you'll turn that off. So you can just simply click on that right mouse click and hide the elements, and it'll just leave you with a clean drawing. All right, so sometimes other things kind of show up that they shouldn't, such as the dishwasher, the range, and the refrigerator. Those things shouldn't really be showing up on your design that's on the site plan because you're not able to see them because the roof blocks that. So that's something we could probably turn off also. So if you type in VG, and we'll go to furniture, I guess, one of the layers that those are on. So since they're components, they're kind of divided into all these different layers. All right, so I have to find out which layer these things are on. The one I thought it was on is not on. So we'll have to go to layer one and find out. Go to the level one and find out what that's on. What I, where I thought it was, it's not. So we'll just keep it moving for right now. That'll be something we can try to find out in the end. Here I see it's peak now. Let's see what callouts do it. No, callouts didn't do it. All right, so I wasted enough time doing that. Not sure what those are on. I have to find out what they're on. All right, so for our site plan, We're going to go massing and site. And ordinarily I'll put the land around everything by using a topo surface. But this time I'm not going to do that. I'm actually just going to use a property line. When we actually model it, then we'll do that. But as you see from the animation there, I don't know if I really want to just do the entire topo surface first because it just kind of gets in the way. All right, so once you click on it for the property lines, we're going to create by sketching. And we're just going to do a simple property line. We'll do the front at a slight angle. And that's going to give us our property line there. Let's see where we messed up at. Right, let's see. So I must have missed a little bit. Yeah, I did. There we go. All right, so that gives us our property line. So we're going to do our site plan by placing a few things on here, such as some trees. We'll put our little walkway and so forth. So some of the stuff we're just going to kind of draw it in rather than actually using features off of the topo surface. Topo surface actually is a good thing to use in a way, but then too, just having just the property lines actually works probably a little bit better if we did it that way. All right, so from here we're just gonna pretty much use some of our draw tools, and we're just gonna create a lot of the stuff with just lines rather than. All right, so I'm gonna create my little driveway here. I have 15 feet wide, just a standard. And I'll do these model lines, make me a little walkway. This part you might have to kind of look at because you got to kind of make this according to where your railing is, and it get a little tricky. The average of this is usually about 3 feet wide, so it doesn't have to be extremely large. And if you want to connect it to, you can always modify and do that. All right, so next we'll just add some trees, some shrubbery in, and then we'll couple of trees here and there. So architecture component, and a lot of the trees are already loaded, so I'm not gonna put 10 or 12 trees in there. I'm just gonna go put a couple here and there, and different kinds. So I want to fill the yard up with trees. All right, so we'll take a look at it in 3D. We'll see our model lines. We don't see the property lines because of in 3D you don't see them. But the model lines that we did make, you actually do see that. Now you could technically um, close the model lines up. Oh, I see I'm off a little bit. All right, so that's the beauty of 3D. So you want to make that quick adjustment. All right, I'm just kind of clicking around here, see what I can pull up. Because I guess you could. I guess we could actually put in our topo surface, just so the property lines would show up. But we're not going to make it much bigger than what's already here. And when you do your topo surface, technically you can actually, let's say I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I'm going to try it anyway. If it works well, then we'll use it. But if not, then we won't bother. Now, when you put these topo surfaces in, as I see on this one, it's just a little bit too much. So what I'm gonna do is edit it, go back to here. I'm gonna make this a little bit larger than the property lines. Those two are kind of blending together. And the topo surface is technically the earth, not necessarily the property. So might not be a good idea to blend them together like what I was just trying to do. All right, so for category for the topo surface, you can change that right away if you wanted to. We'll do grass. Find it. Sometimes it's not always loaded. So we have to scroll through to find it. So we may have to use earth. And then we're going to change our texture pattern. So right now it's kind of brownish looking. So we're going to change that. Oh, on the wrong tab. All right. I was on the wrong tab. All right, so you go to your site work tab or to your other tab, and I'll usually put these on thumbnails. Then I can see what I'm looking for. And there are several different shades of grass, and they're all on the site work. So I'm gonna just choose one. And this is strictly really for 3D purposes, not necessarily for design purposes. All right, so I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna go to a level 1. I'm sorry, to a front elevation. And I'm gonna take my level and move it down a couple of inches just below level 1 surface. And the reason for that is because if you don't, it'll run through the middle of the house or run through the house as you're going along. So we don't want it to do that. So now it looks more like that. All right, so from the site plan level, you should still be able to see your property line. All right, so from here, we're ready for 15 minutes. All right. So as I said before, you probably can, we can probably use these model lines and go ahead and extrude them to create a sub-region, or we can just use sub-region. It's probably just make more sense. And we'll outline our little driveway here. We'll change the materials. Cast in place gray. So basically it's the same material that comes on the truck with the bubble on the back. And since this probably need to be adjusted just a wee bit up that way to go to the edge of the porch. And we'll do that. That gives us a little driveway that's going to be in 3D. All right. So back to the site, and from this point we'll go ahead and end the video, and then we're going to put in our setbacks. We'll call out our trees and so forth. Contour lines is something we can also do, but we have to edit the points on these. So right now that's a lower elevation, which means we'll just have to change the elevation numbers in order to make contours. So let's say, for instance, that one's -3 5/8 inch. So let's say we make this a -10 and apply. And normally it makes a nice little ripple. And play the numbers to kind of see what it does, to kind of see if we can get it to show us some contours. It's something we have to kind of play with, but I think it's still relatively flat. But we'll pick up from here on the next video and then do the rest of it.